Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a special Master Random podcast episode. This is the Kick the Fat episode, and this episode is brought to you by Payless One. They are your one-stop for organic and natural products and education, located next to the Dedito Payless. Payless One is your dedicated destination for organic food, home, health, and beauty products. So go shop, learn, and stay healthy at Payless One, open daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And on this special Kick the Fat episode, we are featuring Payless's Registered Dietitian and the one responsible for Payless One, Rosae Calvo. She has an immense knowledge about health and nutrition and how to keep your body going every day without filling it with the unk and the junk that we do and that we are used to doing. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I don't want to spend too much time on the pre-roll. I do want to remind you, when you're done listening to this episode, when you're done with the 5K or the 10K, come visit us at the live podcast over at the festivities, the Health Smart Festival, and come listen to a live podcast. It's going to be fun. It'll be fun to have you join us there. We're going to have some headphones that you can listen directly to the conversation happen live. And so, that being said, without further ado, enjoy the conversation and enjoy your run with myself, T-Ville, and registered dietitian Rosae Calvo. Check it out. We are ready. And this is a special Kick the Fat episode, and it should last about the length it takes for you to run. So whether you're running the 5K or the 10K, it can take you all the way. So welcome to the conversation, Rosae Calvo.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yes. And of course we got Anthony Valena. Tony, why do I always call you Anthony in the formal stuff?
I'm not sure, but I do have my formal shirt on, so I think that's why you called me Anthony. Shouldn't have changed my shirt there.
So this year we have the opportunity to be part of Kick the Fat, the 24th Kick the Fat. So, 2020. That's why it's Kick the Fat 20, right? So for the last 24 years, Kick the Fat has become one of the largest, if not the largest, 5K on Guam, right?
Yeah, we bring in about 4,000 runners
each year.
Walkers. Yep.
So when did that growth, do you know, start happening? Where it's like, well, this is pretty significant.
I'm not sure, but I'm not aware of how long other 5Ks have lasted. But I mean, 24 years
that's long.
Pretty long, yeah.
Well, because now you can find a 5K almost every single weekend, right?
Yeah. Guam. But do you see people wearing Kick the Fat shirts?
Mm-hmm.
I do all the time. I have one, and I
believe I have one
yet.
We have a couple.
Yet, so.
Have a couple of them.
Yeah, I have one. I have one or two. Jerry ran it. My fiance ran it too. It's out there. Everybody knows about Kick the Fat for sure. KTF.
How has it become so important to how Payless runs, things, and for them to keep wanting to do this?
So as a locally owned company, we're really big on giving back to the community. So this is our major event for giving back. It's actually not Payless Company, but it's the foundation that spearheads Kick the Fat, and all proceeds go to beneficiaries. So actually, a few months before the race, we have a grant process, and a bunch of people apply, and we have 4 beneficiaries this year, but
it varies throughout the years?
Yes, it varies. So every year there's a chance for people to apply for the Kick the Fat grant.
So there's different, it's always a different benefit. Is it always 4 or it's like?
It ranges. But we decided this year to narrow it down, because I think we've done, at least since I've been part of the foundation, we've done up to 8 in 1 year. And so, that kind of lowers the amount that we can give. Our foundation is very broad. We are the different areas that we give back to are social services, health, education, and sustainability. So that's pretty much everything. So we decided this year to choose just one aspect, which is health. And so the grant applicants this year, their project had to be health related.
So it's something they'll apply for the grant and be able to receive money to do a particular thing, right?
A specific project.
So what are some of the things that the beneficiaries will be doing? You can even name out the beneficiaries.
Yeah, so we have Duk Goose. They're doing nutrition education videos. We have
That's important, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, I caught myself watching the Payless how to make the food sponsorship ad. I rarely like watch ads. And just the jingle itself and them having to watch showing you how to cook things like within a couple minutes, right? You can watch how to cook something. I was like, oh shit, that's how you make potu, okay?
Yeah, people love those videos.
Yeah, so they'll be doing something like that, or is it more talking about nutrition and stuff?
Or is it open for them to, kind of go their own route? Or do you guys have certain
No,
do they have to tell you?
They do have to report at the end of their project.
Well, to prove that they're using the money for the right thing, right?
Yes.
Do you know if they tell you the project, like when they apply, the project's set out in the application?
Yeah, it's any grant. It's almost like remember, we were looking at the Kaha grant, right?
Okay,
They give us
cool.
a timeline. Yeah, man, we reviewed those applications a while ago, but at the event, we have a beneficiary gallery. So it's going to be a visual exhibit with the different projects. So everyone can learn about the projects at the race on the day. So that was just one. We have Snake Pit Wrestling Academy, and they are doing a wrestling camp specifically for people with cancer.
Oh.
Since a lot of times those with cancer, when they're resting, right, they have like weaknesses, or they go through that muscle. So to help maintain their overall
Get them physically,
health and,
stay
fit,
active, and
they're doing a wrestling academy. I think it's a 4 to 6 week program, if I'm not mistaken. We have
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, wrestling is growing. It's the fastest growing wrestling. Actually, I heard today was women's wrestling is the fastest growing collegiate sport in the United States. And then wrestling is like actually going on all year round here on Guam, or different associations or different groups are having wrestling available for the young wrestlers to go. So like this association will do like Tuesday, Thursdays, and then another association will do like Monday, Wednesdays, and then the other one will do like Saturday or the other days. So they have a chance to go to these different groups. I think Steel Athletics was one, and I think the Mr. DeBold, I was saying it a little bit earlier, we were talking on the side that he does one as well. So it's a pretty active community, the wrestling community. So that's pretty cool that they're also doing something right with cancer. With the cancer patients.
Is this like a certain age, like kids who are sort of under 18 who have cancer? Okay.
Another one is UOG Endowment, and they're doing a community garden for those who live in the dorms.
Dude,
so
that's growing. Dude. Yeah, that's popular.
So I'm super into those community gardens. You see them all over bigger cities where they don't have backyards and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I've always been asking Vinny if we can do a community garden up on the roof.
Yeah.
Not only would it, like help us like be able to grow our own fruits and vegetables or plants, it'll keep the roof cooler for us on the 3rd floor.
Yep.
Right. So I've been kind of throwing the idea at him, and getting the community to put into creating something, like maintaining and upkeeping, right?
Did you
So-
know that a lot of our elementary schools have community gardens?
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a different program that I work with the US. I think they get a grant through USDA. It's the Farm to School program. So a bunch of elementary schools have community gardens, and then my role is to do the nutrition education part and connect the vegetables that they're growing to health.
And of how they're
Right.
learning it, how they're learning it in the classrooms.
So I guess just the importance of eating the vegetables that they're growing.
Where do they plug you into?
I
So what part of the, I guess, the growing
Every-
process, right?
So they do the growing separately with, I think they're teachers, but then I come in, every month I go to a different elementary school and we just do nutrition education and we just reinforce that value for
God, a
eating
lot I don't
fruits
know.
and vegetables.
That's a lot I don't know. that's
before we
going on.
go
That's
off-
really awesome.
Man, that's
Yeah.
cool. Before we go off, I think I don't know if everybody that's listening knows like Rosae's background on why she's involved in that, or maybe if people don't know and they're kind of listening, you can kind of tell us like how you're involved in that, and then go. The other thing was going back to the endowment and how that was.
The community garden.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
We
So I
kind of
am
went
a registered
sideways.
dietitian.
Uh-huh.
I work for Payless as
Maybe we should have started with that,
supermarket
right?
dietitian.
It's okay.
And one of my main roles for Payless is nutrition education.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's pretty extensive.
Right. They are a sponsor of the podcast.
Yeah.
So.
And then there's Manyelu, and they're doing a kickball tournament, and it's not just a one-day thing. I think it leads up, so it's a few weeks. I
That was 3.
think it's
No, that's 4.
4. Sorry, that was 4.
That's 4. Because we didn't talk deeply into the community garden.
Yep.
Right.
Right on.
4. Okay. The Minyalu is doing the
Kickball.
kickball, and what is there? It's just for
Underserved communities.
Okay.
So just to get kids out, instead of after school, they're doing
Doing
other
whatever.
things, doing whatever. They have a place to they practice, and then it leads up to a tournament.
nice. I've been wanting to do a kickball tournament.
Not
I'm
quite
horrible
kickball.
at kickball.
It's kickball with a twist. Maybe we should apply next year or something and somehow
No,
tie it into there.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It has nothing to do with health.
We'll figure
You have
something
to
out.
be a nonprofit organization.
Can't just be-
There you go. How about
been-
how about we talk about the qualifications for people who might want to do it next year, to apply next year.
It is important that your organization is established, so we do require for you to be established for at least
Right,
1 year.
Right. Not just I'm making this organization to apply for this grant to do a tournament or do whatever as a garden.
Basically, you
tournament.
can't just
Right.
be a dude
Yeah. Okay.
who wants to do something.
Can't just
Cool.
Right.
create an organization to get the grant.
Right.
You have to
right.
be established already.
Cool.
So, what are what made you guys choose health as part of the criteria to be, or the main criteria to be a beneficiary?
It just made sense because on the Payless company side, we've just really expanded on health services through my role. So again, the nutrition education component at EduKitchen and also the community outreach, our partnership not only with GDOE but also with UOG. And we just added individual services within the past month. So we've been
That's fresh.
focusing a lot on health as a company. So we thought it just made sense to.
To kind of associate the biggest event that you guys throw every year
Yes.
into the driver of where the company's sort of going.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only as a grocery store, but as a foundation.
Yes. Yep. But we do
Well said.
plan to every 2 years switch to another area.
So it'll be what, health?
So there's health, sustainability, education, and social services. So it's very broad.
Right. So when people are done with the 5K and the 10K, the run or walk, whether they take 10 minutes or 1 hour, What can people expect to get out of, just the whole event?
Well, we typically have what we call the community fair after, and in the past it's been very informational. We wanted to make it a bit more exciting. We're calling it the Health Smart Wellness Festival this year. We have an adventure zone, so just because you finish your race, we still have different areas that you can do some type of physical fitness. We have a yoga recovery zone. We have not little, actually life-size giant Jenga, chess,
So
a rugby toss. We have an obstacle course for the kids.
So is
I'm
be a
feeling
fully
tired
immersive,
already.
like a fully immersive experience now
Yeah.
with compared to the way they've been doing it in the past.
Yes. I think I was looking online earlier this year and I just ran into like a wellness festival and I looked more into it and I just thought it was cool to start with a 5K, and then the way the ones that I looked at worked is that they had multiple classes after the run. So that was the original idea, but it was kind of hard logistically. So
You gotta
we're starting with this.
run them to a classroom.
Yeah.
The finish line is in this classroom.
and it's like, I just ran a 10K. We're gonna work out
So
some more.
other than
We're gonna bump you up.
the activity portion, we are having you guys too, and that would be
Right.
an area to give more
And-
information.
Yeah, for sure, an opportunity to engage. That's why I'm really excited to do the live podcast. It's a chance for us to be creative in a sense of not only there's going to be 4,000 people there, so if we can even just get 5% of the people to at least walk through the tent, we've achieved at least a goal, and not only getting people to experience like tech that we're introducing, but we're also getting them to listen in on a conversation live. Like everyone sitting here, people don't exactly get to do that all the time, right?
Yeah, and well, in the past, I don't know if you've seen our Edu Kitchen pop up, but we have a counter, so it was kind of the idea. At the Kick the Fat event, we would have chairs, and then we would do a demo, but it just didn't work out. Like people can't hear. There's usually a band or music in the background. So when I went to your live, your silent,
Yeah, the live show.
yeah, the silent one, the silent disco, that clicked, that I thought it was a great opportunity that you can still bring an aspect of engagement in this way, even though there's so much other things
Dude,
going on.
that's what I'm starting to realize too. It's like engagement is super huge in keeping people's attention, not only getting their attention, but keeping their attention, whether it's on social media or better yet in a live form, just getting them to I was just listening to Dave Chappelle receiving the Mark Twain Award, and someone was talking about him, and he said he'd rather create experiences than take photos. It's like, and that's very huge in the sense that that's probably not verbatim, but in the sense that you want to create these memories, and if you can like create an event that'll stick in people's minds, that you don't even need a photo to explain it. Just the fact that like, man, I got to go back to that again. Like, when is this thing gonna happen again? That's way better than being like, man, I got the fucking best exercise. Oh, the best exercise. Sorry, we're so used to using bad words.
Using unhealthy words. Unhealthy
on
words.
the podcast.
There could be kids listening. Sorry. We'll bleep
No,
that out
it's
anyway.
okay. It's and it's just creating the experience, and that's what I really like about this wellness festival. Well, the Health Smart Wellness Festival is that you guys are really looking at engaging with the people who are participating in the 5K,
Yeah.
right? Fully immersive.
I mean, it's Kick the Fat's such a big event, and I think especially moving into our 25th year, we have to grow to keep up, keep it up, and so I feel like it's this is a practice run for next year, and we can expect even more exciting things with the Wellness Festival.
Yeah. How do you think it can grow more?
I think it's just, well, at least I don't know how other people feel about the race itself, but for me personally, working it, I felt like it was just a one-time thing. Like you race and that's
Done.
and then, but what are you doing for your health after that?
Mm.
And so, for me, it's all about sustainability. What are you going to do? Like Kick the Fat could be the start, but how are you going to kick it off for the rest of the year? And it's, we just last year, we moved Kick the Fat to January because we want it to be part of, this is where your journey to health starts. A lot of people,
That's
they
true.
treat January as the time to get back on track.
The resolution.
New year,
Yeah, so
new me.
Right.
January, we're piggybacking off of that, but we want Kick the Fat to be something that either motivates people to keep going or to start up and then just launch them for the rest of the year.
Right.
Maybe they can do a small mini thing like half the year or something like that. I don't know.
Do you guys ever
Something
think
like a
about
follow-up?
doing stuff like that? I mean, do the events that you do, the other events that you do, if you do any, are they associated with getting people to sign up for Kick the Fat or be a part of it so that
It's like a year long. I think I kind of know what you mean. It's like Kick the Fat's over, or after it's over, right? And then everyone's on that high of like, I just did the 10K or the 5K.
How do you keep
How do I keep
The moment.
Yeah, and then
momentum
you're like,
up,
okay,
right.
you want to build them. Okay, you're ready to register for the next year's Kick the Fat, but like,
And if there aren't
like you're building up-
if there aren't
yeah.
other events, then what are they? What have you guys been doing that's been maintaining this momentum of getting 4,000 people to register
yeah,
for
you're doing something
for the
right.
event, right?
Yeah. So they're not coming back. I mean, it's 1 year. So 1 year of lull, 4,000 people every single year. It's you're doing something right. So it's a good point. Is there a how do I sustain, or how would I
think just
be
in
interested?
general, our brand, we're engaging, like how you mentioned the Chaggy videos. We do the community outreach. So I do always mention Kick the Fat as our main event for the year. So just our branding and our marketing promotions throughout the year, I guess that we always have people listening in on us. That just, it helps when Kick the Fat does come around. That
Right, and it's become sort of a household name, 24 years, right? You can expect that people will be like, "Oh hell yeah!"
Yeah, I know. Yeah, people who have shirts that don't even walk the race have.
I have shirts.
Heard about it.
I
I
don't think I've ever ran a 5K in my life, to tell you the truth. I'm not a big runner.
you didn't get it from me.
The shirt, right?
Yeah, the shirt.
Or not running.
I have bad ankles.
I don't even remember the last time I ran a 5K to like wake up and run it. It's been a while.
I don't think
I did a
ever.
10K.
I think I've only done the water stop, the water station.
You mean hand out the water?
I, yeah,
the water?
I actually got a really funny story about the water stations.
Tell us.
So, back in we were doing a run up north, and me and my friend we were late for the water stop, about 30 to 45 minutes late for the water stop, and maybe 30 minutes late. And by the time we got to our water stop, people were running by, so we're driving by everybody with the water in our thing, and we turn in, like, leave the water on the table, and didn't even, and we've never done water stops before, so we didn't know that there was an actual, like, motion
Wait.
you're supposed to, like, do it. And so,
What is it?
So we were, like, just
Kind
keeping
of
our
move
hand there.
with them.
You moved with them. So we were holding the cup like this, right? And people were running, and they were just smashing the cups, and
The water just
was
flies
flying
straight up.
everywhere. and the runners are pissed because you're not gonna have a water stop for another the quarter mile.
It's not like they can turn around and do it again.
No.
You get it right.
No, it was just one time. So the first maybe like 25 runners didn't get water just because
I don't think that's
the thing was just smashing water in the air, cups all over the place.
to make you feel better. I don't think those 25 runners needed it. So
Yeah,
don't worry about
right.
that. They're runners. Like, they're probably would have like did the hand wave to no.
Oh man, so
Newbie.
so water stops it's a very difficult job if you plan to do a water stop. They should give proper training for water stops if they're gonna have young high school boys who are waking up after a Friday night of partying and for a Saturday morning at 5 a.m. that show up at 5:30.
I'm surprised you guys slept that night. All right, anyway.
So that's my water stop story. So you're let's at least talk about your role in Payless and how Payless One has really become an integral part of what you do at Payless.
Okay, so Payless One, we opened it, was it 2 years? Maybe only 1 year after I started at Payless. It was, so you see the Dededo store, the pharmacy was a separate location, and really we needed something to fill the space. So we decided we wanted to have a kitchen for cooking demonstrations. So to us, it only made sense that the rest of the store should have healthy product in it. So one stands for Organic Natural Education. Education is our Edu-Kitchen, and then Organic Natural, even though not all organic products are healthy, but generally they are healthier. So that's just become our health store. And yeah, we have an opportunity to bring in unique products there. Dededo wasn't really, all of our stores have different demographics and different types of products that do really well in those stores. So Dededo before then really wasn't seen as a store for the organic food market. So as far as placing organic food in the actual store there, I mean, shelf space is really valuable at Payless. So
For sure.
it just didn't even have a place in the actual.
If you're lucky, you'll get just one part of that one shelf, right?
Yeah, and so I mean, a lot of times, like the organic products, especially if they weren't regular items, like they were new, they were just being introduced, they would just get stuck at the bottom of the shelf. No one would notice them, and then no one would buy them. So then they would be cleared out of the system.
Essentially,
Right. Because when I go to the store, I'll go to the things that I'm used to, right? Right? It's like, oh, Doritos. I wasn't planning on getting it, but it's right there.
There it is. Yeah. So that store was really a space for us to bring in unique products.
How have you been able to see the way people shop, at Payless One since you've opened? Have people been able to open their minds and being more open to trying new products, stuff that they're not familiar with? Maybe they were a junkie, junk food junkie, right? And not a junkie.
Well, it could be. That is a junkie. Junk food junkie is a junkie, kind of junkie. Junkie monkey.
You know what I mean, right? It's like, how have you been able to see people evolve, right, to eat healthier?
So I would say that most people that shop at Payless One are the people that are already looking for the product. So a lot of those products, it does take education, like what is this good for, or is this even good? What is gluten free? Who needs gluten free? Who needs what are the other ones? What is paleo? What is ketogenic? There's so many different marketing claims that go on to a food that unless you're a person that's already doing it, you wouldn't know.
Like the calcium in Eggos? More calcium in Eggos. That's not true calcium.
I didn't know that calcium. They have these really good. I'm not gonna say this to the dietitian. Never mind. These really good cinnamon.
So,
that's what I'm saying.
Eggos,
as an average consumer, right?
Yeah.
When I see something that has more of this, it's like, well, I'm gonna get it, and they don't really know where that more of this is coming from, right?
Yeah.
Or do you even need more of that?
Right.
Yeah, they think it's like, I get more. So I pay less. Or wait, what?
We see people evolving, the ones that come into our edu kitchen, and they, part of the kitchen is to help people sample these new products. I mean, you don't want to buy something having no idea how to prepare it, if it's good for you, why it's good for you. So we use our kitchen as a way for people to try it and see how it's prepared, and our classes are free. So there's that, and then
How often do you guys have them?
I was gonna
we
say,
have a class every week.
have you been to one?
I have been to one.
I've been to one too. It's pretty cool.
We have we start off with our Dedido location early in the month. So we have Health Smart classes, Chef Series classes, Kids Healthy Heroes workshops. So all of those every month, and they are matched in Mighty. So sometimes we have two.
Wait, what do you mean matched in Mighty?
They
So
do it at
like,
the same time.
You guys have a kitchen in Mighty?
Yes.
Okay.
They have
So our
more.
Health Smart class in Dedido will have one in Dedido, and then the same class will repeat it in Mighty.
Okay.
But even with that, I still felt like we weren't really capturing those we need. Because even for people to come to that class, again, it's a select community that's actually interested in, going out of taking up an evening to go to
You have to either
a
be
class.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Not going to the movies or whatever it is that you're going to.
Maybe.
right, or
maybe
even
go-
going home and taking care of their family or exercising. People are so busy nowadays, so
How do you turn it into like web courses? Web classes.
Ooh, I have a great idea for that. You just
and we do have a camera in our Mighty location now
Ooh,
that we can record. So we have discussed that.
I have a great idea. You guys could
But how are they going to sample the food?
you have them make it with a packet. Like I would say you can pre-package it going ahead, and they pick up that they can't attend the class, but they can cook it at their house on TV. So you pre-package
That's an
you
interesting
pre-package
idea.
like whatever the ingredients, and then they follow along with whatever that pre-package. So every day of the week, or let's say for next week you're gonna do, I don't know, first thing that comes to mind is like empanada, but that's not healthy. So maybe something.
Pork
Healthy
carnitas.
empanada.
Go ahead, healthy empanada,
Okay,
and
let's go with that.
You know
Yeah,
what?
right?
We just trialed a healthier version of arroz caldo.
ooh,
Instead of rice, using steel cut oats.
oh, okay.
What's that?
So
I didn't wanna
oats
ask.
they're larger grain.
Okay.
So they're a bit more chunkier versus like rolled oats. You get more smoother oatmeal, but for people some people use it to like bulk up plant-based protein options. But it's a coarser grain.
Okay.
It's still an oat, but it's
Right.
just a different cut.
So it's just not
Grind it
smashed.
down. Yeah.
Yeah. Understood.
But yeah, so pre-package it, then package it like every, that was my suggestion. Sorry.
Okay.
What
don't
is
think we
what's the
finished that
common
off.
what's the common misconception about eating organic or eating healthy?
Well, that's one. Eating organic or eating healthy is eating organic. And in that sense, people also think eating healthy is expensive. But you don't have to eat organic to be healthy. So organic, it's a farming practice that's supposed to be more sustainable. And then for those, there are like concerns about pesticide use, so less exposure to pesticides, and then the concerns with antibiotic use. Are you aware of
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Mhm.
How we're creating super strains of bacteria
Like
because
GMOs
of our
and stuff?
overuse of antibiotics.
The way what
we
they're
create
using.
super bugs.
Okay.
So
they're
it's
becoming
not that
strong, right?
people.
They're becoming more resistant to
Yep.
the antibiotic.
Yeah, so when you hear of that, it's not like we're ingesting antibiotics because they're usually cleaned out. The animals by the time we eat them, they're flushed. Any medication that they were on should have been flushed out, and plus it wouldn't survive our GI tract. but it's just creating of the super strains that the bacterial resistance, that's a concern. So those are the reasons to go organic. But as far as actual nutrient density, organic apples have the same amount of vitamin C and fiber as non-organic apples.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the same throughout. So just because it says organic doesn't mean it's super healthy.
Right. So
This is-
organic, just because a candy is organic doesn't make it healthy. It just uses organic cane sugar, which is the sugar was made
Grown
with
in
those more
organic soil.
sustainable product.
Mm.
I mean process. Yeah.
So- Okay.
So that's a major misconception, that organic and healthy are synonymous. And I'm still working to change that.
What you're saying is that you can't be healthy without being organic, is what people are.
Right. People
misunderstanding.
think that. Or
Other-
they think
other
just
way around.
because they're eating organic that they are healthy, but they could still be eating organic, a bunch of processed foods that are just organic.
Yeah.
And that's, the Health Smart brand, it was actually a shelf talker. So when you walk through the store, those little signs
Mm-hmm.
that tag products, they're called shelf talkers. But Health Smart was for natural and organic products. And I had to change that when I came in and say, no, we need a separate sign for organic and natural. And then Health Smart is a different sign, and that's synonymous with dietitian approved or healthy. And that way we're not closing off the market. So people, when they see organic foods and a Health Smart sign, and those that can't afford it, they're going to think they can't have a healthy product. But there are a
Right.
lot of healthy products that are affordable.
Affordable. Right.
And that's that's the shelf talkers, the Health Smart have. There's unaffordable products. That
Right.
makes sense
And you
what
can
you're saying.
actually look in our Denancy deals, and there's a dietitian approved logo on certain foods. So, for example, if you look in the meat and seafood part of our ad, anything with dietitian approved was chosen because it's either a lean meat, because there are lean meats in beef, pork, and poultry, or it's a seafood product that's either high in omega-3s or vitamin D.
So if I'm let's say I'm an uneducated, I'm gonna go that route. I'm asking for.
You are uneducated.
Yeah. You could say that in the health craze. So let's say I'm asking for a friend. I'm uneducated on the health craze, and I want to start getting healthy. I can go in. If I understand you, I can go into Payless or Payless One and look for these stickers, and basically pick those out, and I can be rest assured that hey, I can that's stuff I should be eating, or is there a little bit more to it than that?
Okay, so right now we're not even using the Health Smart shelf talkers.
Okay.
We're using the dietitian approved logo, so anything on the Denancy deals.
Okay.
Just because it was too hard to maintain the
Were you
Health
not here
Smart
in
shelf
the
talkers.
beginning of the conversation?
I'm sorry. I was asking for a friend, guys.
So one of the concerns with that is a lot of products get moved around or discontinued. So can you imagine if even a kid just kind of scooted
gotcha.
the sign down, like a Health Smart, just down to the next cereal,
Right.
and then
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, no, you can't walk into a store and just look for Health Smart products. But if it's something on the ad, then there is a symbol that shows if it's dietitian approved. If you're looking to modify your shopping list, that's where we have our nutrition services, where I can meet you and take you on a tour.
How do people
based
get
on
in
your
contact with
needs.
you for that?
Yeah. Is it free, or how does that all work
Okay,
out?
so if it's general, like you just want to know how to read food labels and general healthy eating, that is free. That's
Okay.
a free service. You can get a hold of me through our website in the Health Smart section. But if you want it a bit more personalized, say you're on a certain kind of diet, or you want to try going vegan, and you have specific recipes that you want to modify, then that's a $30 service.
Right. We'll see you for more information, kind of price. That sounds
Yeah.
cool.
What's the website?
paylessmarkets.com.
And then they go to the
Health
Health
Smart
Smart section,
That's
which
pretty
they'll be
cool.
able to get
And
in
then
contact
there's
with you.
Didn't know that.
So there's the description of all the different services that we have. You can register for, or you can schedule an appointment with me either at the MIT or Dedido location. And there's also an Ask Rosae form if you just have a general question and you don't want to meet, you just
That's pretty
have a quick
cool.
question.
Does it have your picture coming down off the website like, ding?
My picture is on the website. Unfortunately.
Well, they have to know who they're asking
What are
questions.
what are some of the common misconceptions about what we should be eating here on Guam?
Misconception is that Chamorro food is not healthy. And, you know, there are a lot of foods, like, for example, you made kadu tonight. Kadu is a great platform for adding in a lot of vegetables. And it's really just the balance of our plates, not so much
The contents.
Yeah. So whether it's kadu or even tanaktak, I mean, there are people already used to having some vegetables in it, but if we can just load it with vegetables and have a little bit less meat, pair it with less rice. I don't know if you're aware of my plate, but the basic thing is fill half of your plate with veggies and fruits versus just starch and protein.
Like
So,
Like the
so you mean
typical-
meat and rice
well,
that my grandma cooks every night? Boy, what do you want?
well, the typical
What meat
plate
and what rice?
is the base course is red rice.
Yes,
and then
that's
everything,
the foundation.
Everything goes on top of the
Yes,
red rice.
you got to put the foundation in right,
Right.
or else you know the plate's gonna
Red rice
collapse.
doesn't go on one side of the plate,
And
only a
that's
quarter.
all
It's
over.
all over the bottom, and then everything gets drizzled on
Little bit of
as you
salad.
go on.
Man, I wish I brought a sample for you guys, but we actually just ordered, they just came in these plates that have the correct way to portion.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can look forward if you join any of our Health Smart activities at the Wellness Festival and you either
Participate.
it's not just participation, you have to win or
Oh, okay.
have a correct answer, then you can win one of these plates.
Nice. Yeah, I think
I think that's helpful.
people. Well, here on Guam, right, we got this war ration diet kind of mentality. Canned foods, canned goods, and
don't
fiesta
waste.
plates.
And don't waste.
And you have to eat everything
Yep.
on your plate,
Mhm.
right? And it's not really a sustainable way to live, right? And just at least, how do I say this? The way we eat is only making us bigger and maybe lazier, and we do less work than. I mean, if you look at pictures of Chamorros back in the before the war, those guys were ripped.
They were.
You know?
They were.
Those guys
farmers
had
and
freaking
stuff.
big ass, long muscles, and they're just ripped and super lean.
It's a walk.
And they
everywhere.
probably didn't have maybe they did have a healthy diet, right? They had a different diet than what the canned goods, eating canned goods
I
and
mean,
stuff
they
like that,
eat a
right?
lot more fresh food.
Right.
And I think it's morphing. I mean, like the kids, people are not cooking at home as much. And so kids are becoming more reliant on either fast food or takeout, which don't have fruits and vegetables in
Right.
it usually. So I think what we grew up eating is a bit different from what the kids nowadays.
Yeah. We're living like a city life in an island, right? Because in the city you can order food and have a delivery service deliver any kind of food you want, whether it's fast food and you never have, or fast food or restaurant food, and you never have to leave your couch.
But yeah, so Edukitchen, that's really an important way for kids to be engaged in the kitchen. We just had a couple months ago, we had a class, and of course we teach convenience, so we did use like a canned tomato sauce or something, and we have the kids in their stations to do their part of the recipe, and a kid was holding the can opener, he's saying, "What is this?" And he had no idea how to use it. I thought he was joking.
How do you do this?
He did not know. And then someone was like, "Oh, I know." And he like flips it up and he's like this, right? And yeah, so something as simple as using a can opener or even washing dishes. So
Where's
of
the
course
app
we
for
have them
this?
washing
Well, we
dishes,
think it, well,
and
we
the
think it
kids are
should be
like,
common knowledge,
don't-
right?
Right.
I have never washed dishes before.
Oh my God.
So
Where's
those
the app for
kitchen
this?
skills, home economic skills, that's really something that we feel is important to teach to the kids in education.
Yeah, for
Did
sure.
They took it. I don't know if they teach that in school anymore because I think
Some
they
schools
had
do.
used to before.
So our kitchen chef, he works at Agada during the day.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a home ec over there.
Really?
I believe so. In some of the public schools, there are some home ecs. I know in the non-public schools, there.
Did you just call it a non-public school?
I'm adapting. I learned that today. So I had a meeting in the Rotary Club of Tumon Bay, and we had a presentation, and the presenter, Mr. DeBald, said nowadays they're not calling private schools. They're calling them non-public schools because you have charter schools, you have the Catholic schools, and then the other schools, I guess. I don't know. I only thought of like homeschool. So, yeah, that's what they're calling now, non-public schools. And I totally forgot where I was going with that, but anyways, sorry guys, but yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, non-public school, and it makes sense. It makes sense. You have the public schools. Oh, home economics.
Right.
So yeah, in the non-public schools, I'm not sure if they're teaching that in the Catholic schools. We didn't have home economics when we were
I didn't.
going to school. It was called chores.
Yeah.
We had chores
It was called chores.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was
I
called.
peeled potatoes.
I didn't even get a course on that.
I didn't even know what do you call that? Dishwashers existed.
Yeah.
We had a dishwasher, but we still washed the dish.
It was a
before we
dish
put
rack,
it
right?
in
Yeah,
the
my
dishwasher.
my parents came over for lunch today, and they ate the same thing you guys ate for dinner, and my mom was like, "Wow, you can get married now." It's like you actually learned something, you know. It's like
All those chores.
I don't think as parents you realize that some of these things would stick with your kids. You know, the more that they're around it, the more that they're experiencing it, and that's why, like, for me, a lot of what's sticking with me today is experience. You can't take that away. You can't take an experience away. I just watched a comedy show there. They didn't allow phones, and it was just all about the experience, and we were like fully immersed into that experience. And whether we were laughing, crying, or doing whatever, running around, playing with stuff, it's the fact that I can remember that I did this, and this is something that I would want to do again, which is, I think, is a really smart thing that you guys are doing with this Health Smart
I
Festival.
was just gonna say that.
Wow.
Ties it right back to the engagement we were talking about in the beginning.
It's huge. It's really huge, and I think this is something that you guys can really expand on in the future, and maybe even help grow not only the festival. Maybe the festival, the 5K will happen during the festival eventually, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, here we're at the festival, you have all these things going on, and it's like, all right, time for the 5K, but there's still things going on, and you can actually maybe watch people do the 5K, right? You have cameras, you have dudes on motorbikes with cameras, and they're following
talking
the
about
top
that.
runner and stuff, and it's like, this is the top runner for the Kick the Fat and stuff, and people are watching on a big screen, cheering them on.
And then
blah,
they
blah,
see
blah.
the 30-minute late high school kids coming in for the water container, like splashing stuff all over the place.
Right. So I think you guys are creating a huge opportunity for yourselves in the future, and possibly for the 25th, and eventually the 50th, right?
Yep.
What else is going to be going on that day when people are done listening to this podcast, of course, and running the 5K or the 10K? What can they expect when they're done?
Okay, so earlier I just explained the adventure zone, but we also have our health check zone. That's where you guys will be posted up, but we'll also be doing health. IHP is doing health screenings, so the blood pressure. A lot of people don't go to the doctor, so they have no idea what their numbers are. So we have health screenings.
I'm raising my hand, guys.
Other
listeners.
than of course, we're going to have our Health Smart Education demos, and we have food vendors. So we have Coffee Slut, Boca Box, Mighty Purple, and Market Deli, where you can purchase food right after the race.
Awesome.
I'm getting hungry. So I heard the food vendors, and I'm excited for that this Saturday. It's gonna be super awesome.
Yeah,
And
I'm excited
wait,
to see everything that's going on.
I see a little square black box there. Did you mention there was a big stage or something like
There is
that?
a big stage.
you-
So that's where the warm-ups are going to take place. Synergy Studios is doing warm-up, the first warm-up, and then Steel Athletics is doing a warm-up. And then the race, and then main stage after that will be used for the award ceremony.
And then after that, everyone can enjoy themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to stop by the Master Random little booth we got there, guys. We'll be there. Post it up. Come say hi to us before you start, and then after, come watch us.
Yeah, we'll be there.
We'll be
Half
there.
awake. Half
Half awake.
awake.
Yeah.
We gotta show up at
And
4:30.
thank you for committing to such an early morning event. I know most of your podcasts are late
That's
at night.
We're trying to
12 hours after.
We're trying to debate whether we will be up.
No way, dude. If I honestly,
gotta
if I
sleep.
stay up all the way, I'm not gonna be functioning. I won't even be able to talk that day.
So we're
So I just
sleeping
gotta
at-
at least
Sleep
Get
at
a good-
6:30 p.m. then. Okay.
like 8:30 is
Yeah,
good.
that sounds good.
Like,
Don't
like,
push it.
like old man style.
Don't push 8:30.
Oh,
That's
man.
getting old. 9 is like when you gotta hit it. Don't go past 9. I've never heard an older gentleman say 9:30 before. It's always been 9 o'clock.
Well, they get up early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think early is part of my routine
Yeah, I'm
just
not
yet.
there yet either.
I think it's mostly military people who are young. If you were in the military, you're pretty much trained to get up that early. But me, I don't think it's gonna kick in till maybe I'm like
Till Saturday.
50. Till Saturday. It'll definitely kick in on Saturday.
Yeah.
And what else didn't we touch on here?
We hit a lot of good spots or good talking points. Oh, what do you get at the end of the race? I see the T-shirts. I mean, I'm not gonna get one this year. Rosae already said.
So if you're doing a 10K,
What is everyone getting?
You're getting a tank top. If you're doing a 5K, you're getting a T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
The Diddy bags. I was not there today. They packed them, but it's whatever people, whatever our sponsors donate. So
Cool.
it's always a different variety of things in those bags.
Right. Well, wait. Yeah, we're just about there. I think the amount of time that we've talked should be the amount of time that the racers
10K?
should be finishing a
Hopefully.
10K, right? What is the average? Matt, confirm with us. Here we go. We're going to use Matt today.
Yeah, we already have to use him once.
What is the average 10K?
Let's take a
that
guess. You guys want
people-
to take some
I'm
guesses?
gonna guess.
Okay, let's go.
I
Yeah,
know
let's
what
go
I
average.
did
An
my 10K.
hour?
That's why.
Yeah, I just did 4 miles today. That took 36 minutes.
What's a 10K? 10K
10K is like
6 miles?
So I thought it was like 10 something.
No.
It
10K,
felt like 10 when
not 10 miles.
when I ran it.
Average?
7?
A
is that?
5K is 3.2 miles, right?
10K is then
And
9.
I mean, we're
nine-
just saying average, not competitive,
Kilometers.
not
Okay, yeah,
right.
average,
Because we
average.
have
Right.
a whole spectrum of runners.
Everybody can
Matt,
fast
Matt,
forward
let's
through the
do
second part.
non-competitive 10K times.
I'm gonna say mine. Everybody say theirs on the count of 3.
I never
You wanna
ran
do
one,
that?
so I can't do it. Go ahead. You can say it,
I
though.
said an hour.
Mine was I think an hour and like 25 minutes. but this was on cold, and this was a cold out cold. Like someone asked me to do the Honolulu Marathon when I was living in the States, Antimari, and she goes, "You want to run the marathon with me?" I haven't even.
You're not
bought-
supposed to run on your heels, bro.
Well, she was kicking my butt. We got it on. But
Okay.
yeah, so
On average, casual runners. So this is from flow.health. We don't want to do the rest of the stuff. I'm just joking. Menstrual cycle to lifestyle to fitness and exercise to what is a competitive time for a 10K. On average, casual runners are usually able to finish a 10K race in 50 to 70 minutes.
I'm a casual runner,
You're like
a slow
you're
casual
like a
runner.
Low casual.
Actually, that should be casual walkers because I was walking. I was doing the Korean lady walk.
The median time it takes for a woman to run a 10K is a little bit more than 64 minutes, while men have a median time of just under 56 minutes. However, average or casual runners will probably take 10 to 14 minutes per mile. That
If
sounds
they're
about
training for this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's about right. It's pretty fun and
So that
rewarding.
means a competitive 10K runner would be,
Way lower than that.
they would maybe like 42 miles. I mean 42 minutes.
Wow.
It's pretty rewarding if you guys ever ran a
Jeez,
10K.
42 minutes. Oh my goodness.
You're like on runner's high for the like rest of the day before you knock out.
Yeah. Dude, when I hit a mile,
Tired.
I'm already tired. That's it. I
feel like
cannot run.
You, or at least for me, you have to like break that barrier. Like you get tired, and then if you keep going a little more, because I'm finding my second mile is always really slow, but then I pick it up again after.
So you just repace, kind of choose what your pace is going to be at.
I don't know. I feel like I'm trying just as hard, but
Every way, right?
when
I was gonna
time
say.
it's just
Remember,
so
he doesn't
happens
run.
to be like extra slow mile 2 for me. That's me.
Mine's
how people feel.
Mine is in the first 500 steps. I'm like, oh, God.
So they have these
When
these
is
apps.
this going to end? Please.
Well, they have these apps or these, I don't know, these watches now. Back then it was this funky Nike thing, and it would tell you what your pace was as you ran it. And when I was running, it would also tell you at the end where you slowed down. It'd be like green. In like this first mile, it'd be super green, so you were excited to run, and then you would go yellow or red, and you would slow down. Like maybe in your instance, that would be on the second mile, and then on the third, it would go jump back up to green again, which you somehow got this second win, and that's what happened to me. So I'm on my third mile. That's when I got my second win, and sometimes you would just
Maybe at least I should
keep
try
freaking
trying
running
to get a second win then.
no, yeah, you
And
can't
you
give
know
up.
What? I've been doing a bit more nutrition services for athletes. So I actually just learned it takes a while for that aerobic. So running is an aerobic type of exercise versus anaerobic, but it takes a while for the aerobic system to kick in.
Right.
First, you're using your anaerobic, and
Well, that
so
makes
anaerobic,
sense.
no oxygen. You're breathing, and
Yeah,
yeah.
it kind of makes sense because like
And
you
your
don't
breathing
do it
levels
often,
up.
right? So I feel like that.
What does it need
Where
to
I
be
think
like?
about it.
It's almost like kinetic energy. It just has to be built up upon in order to utilize.
So with metabolism, it just takes a bit of time for that system to activate.
Yeah.
So there's always a few different systems working to keep your energy going. So for anaerobic, there's 2 different systems. It's the creatine phosphate and the glycogen.
And a bunch
Your
of other
muscles.
words.
But then,
that I don't know.
anyways, your aerobic. Am I getting things mixed up?
But-
Anyways, so there's aerobic and anaerobic kicks in immediately, and those are for like those fast twitch or
sprints or
those
something like that.
quick movements. Those kick in, your body can activate that immediately versus aerobic movements that are lower in intensity. For that system to turn on, it takes
Just a little bit more time.
I want to say that, I mean, this is not any educated, backed by any research, but I want to say that
We
goes,
know you're uneducated.
I'm asking for a friend guy, right? But I feel like that goes back to the caveman days where we're either like running after something or running away from something. So we need that. We got to go and catch it. And then if we're like, we outrun everything probably but the cheetah and a couple other animals, but we will just keep running because we need to like get away from whatever animal or something that's chasing us. I don't know, I just thought I'd bring that
But
in
you
there.
mean-
Guys
you
are
mean-
looking at me funny.
You mean a cheetah,
But-
a
yeah.
jaguar, a bear, a koala?
Yeah,
we
it's
probably
like-
can't run away from a
you
koala
lost me
bear.
at cheetah.
I know. So,
Like,
like,
wait, where's
I think we'd all get lost at the cheetah, but you know, it goes back to that. Like, it takes a while for your survival skill to like kind of kick in, and maybe we're built that
Oh, man.
kind of built that way. I'm just thinking outside
That's
the box,
definitely
guys.
me. I'm,
You know.
the whole fight or flight thing, or
Yeah.
Yep.
no, actually, I'm like a deer in headlights. I'm not a quick responder to.
You kind of have
when
to process.
insects are flying at me, I'm like,
You kind of have to
shocked.
process it before
yeah,
it.
I pause.
Okay, so I mean, by then this should
Sorry,
be.
guys. Sorry to throw that for a spin there.
It's okay.
Keeping it light here.
We'd like to end their run off of a fight or flight.
Okay.
But I hope this was fun for you listening to this podcast during your run. And even if you're finishing up or you're still running, it's cool. It's cool that even if you're not running, if you're
still running,
if you're listening to this and you're not running, that's cool too. It's Rosae has a plethora of knowledge that she can share and that she has shared, and that we've yet to tap into that brain of hers. And so let's just keep going, keep coming to the Kick the Fats and anything. Let's promote Kick the Fat even more. Our
sponsors, can I name?
Yeah,
sure.
Platinum sponsors: Payless Supermarkets, PDC Wholesale, UNFI, KUAM, I-94 is the 63, C2 Calypso Midpack, Micronesian Brokers Incorporated, Matson, Calvo's Insurance, Bank of Guam, Calvo Enterprise Inc., and Pacific Daily News are platinum sponsors. And again, proceeds go to Duk Duk Goose, Snake Pit Wrestling Academy, Manielu, and University of Guam Endowment.
That's 100% of the...
So after of the profit.
Okay.
You weren't listening earlier at the conversation?
I didn't catch that in the beginning. Okay.
All good. I was gonna say I'm gonna add one. Was that all?
Yeah, good.
Rose, was that?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna add in, if you're still running right now, there are 200. Is this the 204th episode?
This is 207th.
Seventh. So there are 206 other episodes of Master Random you could still be listening to if you are still running the Kick the Fat on your 10K or your 5K. So hop on the app and check it out.
So if you take 5 hours to run the 10K.
Hey, there's a lot more content on Master Random that you can check out on.
Look out for the cars, because I think the roads will reopen by 8:30.
Well, hey, man, if you're taking an hour 20 like I was, it's
that's
okay.
an important one. Roads are closing at 5, so if
Sure.
stay
Roads close at 5 and
off
open.
the route, or be ready to be rerouted if you're trying to get anywhere between 5 to 8:30.
Yeah, and I hope
Saturday.
if you're listening to this, if you got your race package and you're listening to this before the race and you want to listen, you can listen to any of the episodes during the race, or you can listen to this episode during the race, before the race, after the race.
Whenever.
Everything is super informational and available. And go see Rosae for everything.
It's on there'll be a
Nutrition.
QC code.
People, when I'm in the stores, people ask me where certain products are. I'm like, okay, I'm looking with them. And then I always end it with, if you have any nutrition-related questions, I will be of better help to you.
Yeah. I cannot find the Doritos on purpose. But thank you, Rosae, for giving us this opportunity to talk to you. Talk about it, Kick the Fat. I think it's pretty cool that this is going on its 25th year next year, 24th year this year, and to continued success, right?
Yes, thank you.
So until next time, this is a peculiar podcast because we're using headphones.
It's so awesome.
Our headphone headsets.
It's so
and I feel like a broadcaster.
It's cool.
But nothing is ever orthodox when it comes to this podcast. So
that's why you guys are master.
Thank you. Okay, and until next time, peace out.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to this special episode of the podcast, the Kick the Fat episode with T-ville and Rosae Calvo. Special shout out to the sponsor, Payless One. They are your one stop for organic and natural products and education. If you're listening to this before the podcast, before the run, while you run, go visit us at the live show. We're over at the Wellness Festival, and we're going to do a live podcast there. So come on over and check us out. Say hello. If you're listening to this after, thank you for the continued support of the podcast. Having so much fun doing it. Why the hell am I going to stop? And don't forget to rate and review the podcast if you're listening to this on the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, Google Play, Google Podcasts, and the YouTube. If you're able to rate and review all of them, do it. Other than that, take care of each other. Be kind. I'll see you later.